Hello, it is I, my name, Keith Apicary. You're watching The Variant Verdict. Subscribe for life. All right, that was our homie, Keith Apicary, doing our lead off tonight. Where did we go for this new episode of The Verdict, Sean?
Freeplay Florida 2019.
Yes, this was at the Carib Royal Hotel in Orlando, Florida. That was from November 22nd through November 24th. This was kind of a big retro gaming show. Included some big names. It was a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about our experience with Freeplay and kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes of what goes on at this show and tell you if it's worth your time and if we'll be back again next year. So we'll start off with, we showed up Friday. We checked into our hotel at the Carib Royal. We stayed where the event took place. And tell me what you think about the hotel. I guess they've had it at this place for some X amount of years now.
Well, I think it was just last year and this year from what I heard. Maybe a year prior to that. I'm not sure. But really nice place, actually. Layout's very nice. Easy to get around. Food's easily accessible. We luckily stayed literally across the street from the convention hall to where getting there was like that. So, no, it was really nice. I actually enjoyed the hotel.
Yeah, and this was like one of those kind of rare situations where they have like literally it's the convention building is attached to the hotel, but you don't take like a guardrail or a walkway to it. It's just like a path that's across the street, but in the same hotel.
It's across the parking lot.
Yeah, it's like in the same parking lot. It's really, really, really cool setup. Very secluded feeling in Orlando. You didn't feel like you're in some touristy place with like you weren't in Mickey Mouseville or anything. It was a lot of fun in that way. It was just separated from the outside on the street. You would not even know this event was going on.
No,
it was kind of like a secret little nook. That was really cool.
That is.
So yeah, the layout was kind of like when you walked in, you have just a massive overlook of a floor of retro gaming arcades, as well as pinball machines, console gaming, and we're talking about like literally just TV stations filled up connected with consoles.
Finally got to play a PC Engine. Finally. I've always wanted to try one of those. You had it all. You had Windows 3.1, you had ColecoVision, you had everything. Right?
Well, I also had a chance to sit down and play some 3DO airsoft gun game, which was kind of fun. That was neat to see on a CRT.
Yeah.
As well as I played the Star Wars on the 32X, which was kind of cool.
That was
just a game I knew about. I never really played.
Yeah, no, it was great. And it was so... Free play is exactly it. Like, if no one's touching the console, there's no allowance or anything like that. You just walk up,
at one point you were even playing on a Windows DOS computer that had like
the
Windows 3.1 on it. Yeah,
literally that was like one of the first operating outside of DOS. Then I had 3.1, and like so that brought me back. Played some Ski Free.
Yeah, it was so fascinating to be able to play on those old monitors and stuff. It was so definitely very cool.
I want one now.
A lot to choose from. Also, they have a big Tron section with I think they call it the Recognizer or something like that.
Sure.
That's the name of the big archway kind of looking floaty unit from Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
They had it set up as like you walked into that as its entranceway, and then you had Tron Disc, and I think a few Tron machines, the actual arcade game.
Yep.
Some old vintage posters from Bally Midway of like old Tron tournaments.
Wasn't Gorf in there too?
Gorf was. There's actually I think 3 Gorf.
Yeah, no, there was like a
Gorf
lined out of it. Yeah, there was Gorf everywhere. Like,
very cool, and it was it just felt like an '80s arcade, like kind of throwback. And then the actual units, machines. I mean, let's talk about some of the rare cabinets. He got to play. I watched Sean play, and I think I even picked it up once during the weekend. The Play Choice 10.
Oh yeah, finally got my hands on one. I've always wanted to try out a Play Choice 10.
For those that don't know, tell them a little bit about the Play Choice.
Play Choice 10 was ultimately like a giant advertisement machine. It would be in like video stores or arcades or anything where it was. You could play and pick and play between 10 different Nintendo titles. So you have Super Mario 3, you have like Ghosts and Goblins, you have Duck Hunt. You got all these type of games on there that you can play on an actual
Yeah, it was
cabinet.
weird watching you play like a platforming Mario game.
Totally had to get to World 8 on Mario 3. I cheated. I used the whistles, but I just had to be
But
at
you're
World
using
8.
like joysticks, like arcade style.
Which works really well,
surprisingly
actually.
good, huh?
Yeah, like I was not expecting, because I'm used to a controller, a Nintendo controller, so the moment I was picking an arcade cab up, I'm kind of like wondering, how's this going to work? I loved it. It was great. So I finally got to play Choice 10. And also, let's not forget, I had a goal to do it. I saw it. I played it. I finally got on Punch-Out.
That was really cool.
Haven't been since I was a little kid since I've seen or touched one of those. It was great playing it. Got my ass kicked. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the choices for retro games were like endless. I saw a lot of cabinets I don't see very often, including like that There was a Mega Man like Japanese
Mega Man
brawler type game.
What was it? Mega Man Power Battles. Mega Man Power Battle. That is a rare con. Like that's the thing. I never even saw it. God, that looked great. Like
that was
always somebody on it. Never at any point did I ever just was able to run up and get to it because there was always somebody on it, somebody waiting, and I wanted to play something else. So.
And one thing I always notice about the arcade community is that they're so creative. They had an arcade cabinet for Cuphead, which was really cool, very customized. You guys can take a look at it here. Really cool cabinet, just extremely detail oriented. Outside of the fact that it's just a game, it's like a very popular indie game. It's really cool that the kind of creativity going into the work on these cabinets is insane. And it looked like something that was actually made in the 80s.
Like you would really actually neat. I mean, if you can kind of tell that it was like an LCD screen inside of a cab, like you could kind of pass that off. Like, oh shit, was this an old game?
Yeah.
No, it was great.
And then that day was kind of neat when the AVGN set up, or Cinemassacre's merchandise booth. When we had arrived Friday, we had run into Justin Silverman and Ryan from Screen Rate Media.
Which was
so that was really cool. We got to say hi to those guys, and in fact, I was the first person at the show to get an AVGN poster of the game, which you guys will be able to see here. And they had a lot of cool merch. I was the first person we got to speak with Justin for a little bit, and Ryan.
Great guys, by the way. I mean, I love Cinemassacre and rental reviews and everything like that and Screenwave. So
absolutely,
actually meeting them, actually getting to talk with them, it was
they're kind of great guys. They're part of the inspiration that got us started with our channel.
They really are.
So that was really cool to talk, bullshit and film and other things with them when we got like a chance to in private. Really good people.
They're
really good.
They're awesome.
Nice guys. The other thing that was really cool, we went to the first panel of the weekend, which was a classic video game arcade quiz with Nathan Barnatt, Billy Mitchell, Warren Davis, who worked at Midway and the Mortal Kombat games. He was a designer on Qbert.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That was actually
surprisingly fun, I was a little shocked about how much Billy Mitchell didn't know about retro games, but I guess it was just the wrong question. Some of these were really, really tough.
Well, when you're that focused on a few, I mean, you're not.
Honestly, like, to Billy's credit, some of these questions were ridiculously hard. I would not have known.
I didn't know a lot of them, and I know retro gaming somewhat well.
But hey, for panels, I learned a lot, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then to finish off the night, we got a little surprise, and Nathan Barnatt, he closed out the panel room with his show called Dad Feels.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just goes crazy with the music. Super into the dancing aspect. He brings the crowd in. He kind of gets everyone moving. And if you're not moving, he'll call you out.
Yeah, like everybody was sitting down, and he's like, "Yeah, I want all of you to stand up and come closer." And it was like, I don't dance. I don't have rhythm, and also I'm just being.
Yeah, at one point he called me lazy, and he told me to get out there.
Called you a lazy man. No, but I kind of had to, and thankfully it was really dark in there, and I'm wearing a black coat, and I'm able to hide in the shadows a little bit. Sorry, Nathan.
It was really cool. One thing I liked about the Dad Feel show, the people that were there really enjoyed it. So the crowd was kind of hyped for if you knew who Dad Feels were. But not only that, Nathan Barnatt is just flawless in his delivery.
Oh,
the man does not he's got a lot of guts. He just puts all of his heart into the show. It was hilarious. He did not disappoint. So that would end the first night of Freeplay.
Don't forget, we did also get to meet Nathan that time, that first day.
Well, yeah, we spoke with Nathan, Walter Day. In fact, we
kind of met everybody.
We can go on forever because we got to network quite a bit for the channel and whatnot at this event. But we did the first day there. We had already spoke with Billy Mitchell, Walter Day, Nathan Barnatt, David Crane from Activision, one of the founders, who we were going to interview, but because there was a time mix-up, that's neither here nor there. We didn't get a chance to sit with him. However, we did meet him. So yeah, there was a lot of cool people there that we got to network with on the first day. And honestly, if networking is your thing and you have an upstart channel, this is the show to go to.
Oh, this is fantastic!
Absolutely.
I feel that we I got to meet a lot of people that I've always been fans of or cared about. So it's like, not only did I get that, but like, we actually. I don't know,
some of the people that I watch regularly that I got to speak with and have actual conversations with, and we got to work with Keith Apicary on this video, Nathan Barnatt, and as well as we got to sit down with Billy Mitchell, Walter Day. I learned a lot, so it was a very good weekend. It was a great weekend for networking. You guys are so kind, so special thanks to y'all for giving me the time of day to do this video and put together our footage from Freeplay. The next day the floor opens. You start to see a little difference in the crowd.
A lot more people.
We left our hotel room and pretty early, and I just noticed already we had people walking past us.
Yep.
And by the way, the nerd wasn't even out on Friday. We happened to see him at our hotel, just kind of
he walked by us. I was a little like, but
Yes, that was another thing. If you like networking, I mean, we stayed at the hotel of the event, and if you plan on going, that's really your best option because you're going to have your downtime to actually speak with them in your own time.
Yeah, you just
outside of the show, which is right there anyways. But,
it's great. Like,
you spend the extra money, do that because it's a great way to get yourself out there. But no, on top of that, James Rolfe did make his first booth appearance. He actually spent a good bit of time out on the floor.
Don't forget, we kept our eye in that area. We wanted to get there right away and everything, so we did this. We thought, all right, they're not here. There's no line. Let's go play a quick cab. What were we gone? 10 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we turn around and the line was...
turn around and all of a sudden there's a 30-foot line.
We were playing paddleball, damn it.
Paddleball. That's right.
And we were using this old school cabinet with the 2 dials and everything. It was pretty great. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, yo, let's go check out the nerd. It looks like he's going to be out any minute. Yeah, it was like... The line was long. In fact, though, that was probably the busiest time the Nerds booth got. I would say about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, it was much more mellow.
Yeah.
You're able to speak with James kind of candidly at that point if you felt like it.
And I mean, I have to say, too, because, like, Angry Video Game Nerd I've been watching him since 2006. Like, I luckily found the Karate Kid video, and then before I know it, I'm like, another. And then here I am today, still watching him.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is I used to do an old show back in the day. Like I tried my own YouTube video game retro show, things like that, and you won't know the name.
Which is ironically how I contacted him to get our video.
Yeah, like
going.
He saw my...
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's another day. But, so I'm like 10 feet away from the Angry Video Game Nerd, and all of a sudden I notice my hands won't stop fucking shaking like a bitch. It's like hitting me that the dude that I've been like a huge fan of, inspired me to do stuff, all this shit, he's right fucking in front of me. And I finally meet him. I poured some personal shit out to him like real quick. Don't even know if he caught it all because I was just like, but it was...
It was cool to take in. I mean, he was a very modest, humble dude. Very cool. When you did speak with him, he always took the time to answer your questions and actually very kind.
God, like that's one of those things, he's like, you always feel like don't meet your hero kind of thing. And like, cause you don't know what they're like. And my God, he was so nice. I got to talk with him on a couple of occasions, thankfully.
And we actually got to see him kind of cut loose and break from his more reserved side, but we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that later.
The other thing was we ended up going to the... Walter Day had a trading card ceremony where he kind of honored people at the show that have had some sort of contribution to modern or retro gaming in some way. So that was really cool because this is like, he's like the godfather of video games. Walter Day, he's the man. And honestly, of all the people I spoke with this weekend, he's probably the most relaxed human being I've ever met.
Genuine, like very just nice,
very kind soul. Oh, great dude.
Walter, we love you.
Absolutely. If you don't know Walter Day, look him up. He is the man.
The authority.
Yes, exactly, the authority. So that was cool. We got to go to the trading card ceremony and like kind of see. And I guess it's a tradition at Freeplay. Seems like they do this every year.
Yep.
We got one of the Keith trading cards from Twin Galaxies. So
that was awesome.
Just to get a little taste of what they were doing there. Yeah, and then the hotel that we stayed at was awesome. This is where we kind of took a break because there was no panels kind of going on.
Not really.
So we kind of dicked around the hotel, started drinking a little bit. This is kind of like the beginning of like the night settling in because the Cinemassacre panels were followed.
Oh, yes.
So we ended up getting back to the Cinemassacre panel.
Well, wait, before we got to the Cinemassacre panel, though, we wanted to make sure we had some good seats.
Oh, yeah.
So we went ahead and jumped a few panels ahead, and we actually went to the Activision panel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking we saw the nerd at the hotel, so I have my events out of order, but you're right.
Yeah.
So we did go to the Activision panel because we knew that we wanted the front row seats for the Cinemassacre one. And this Activision panel was actually surprisingly very educational.
Not only that,
I learned a lot, and it was cool. These are 3 Atari workers worked back in the 80s on some very popular titles.
Oh, shit,
Huge parts of Atari.
They were Activision. They were like the start of it. But the thing about it that I thought was great was we were going into it kind of thinking like, we want to get the seats. We don't necessarily want to see this, but we want to get the good seats, so we're going to go and sit through them. We were going to sit through the Activision panel, and we were going to sit through the Mortal Kombat panel with Daniel Pesina. So what happens is that we sit down, we start watching the Activision, and I actually really like retro gaming history. And I thought these were just going to be about like individual games. No, they're talking about the business. So I'm fucking all about it. Like, and I'm to the point where I'm like, I am so happy we got to see that.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. They discuss all the stuff they did at Activision at the time of Atari's height, like, you know, in gaming, the mid '80s.
Even like what they went through during
Crash,
and
it was really cool.
Like
they talked about like the kind of these guys really didn't live the party lifestyle of Atari because they actually touched on that. But it was neat that they talked about all the, you know, mythology behind Atari and like what it was like to be like one of those guys in the 80s programming games, having such a cool job, you know?
And then after that we got the
By the way, before we get further, I wanted to mention that it was David Crane who he was the creator of like the first platforming game in history. That was Pitfall.
Yeah.
Then you have these guys who worked on Qbert in the Donkey Kong Atari 2600 port. Yeah, like legends.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, so and after that, we got to sit and actually watch through the Daniel Pesina Mortal Kombat one, which, again, I was thinking, I'm like, now, I did not know this, so I'm thinking with all the advertising, everything, he's Johnny Cage. He's Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. He's the one who did the digitizing for him. I did not know that he's also Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile.
And his
brother,
I
heard that,
his brother is even Raiden.
Yeah, so wait, I was like, I'm not watching Johnny Cage. I'm watching like half the fucking Mortal Kombat fucking roster right now. So.
Yeah, and it was really cool because we got to hear a little bit about what it was like to work on set as a motion, not even motion capture, but digitized motion capture for the Mortal Kombat games that you guys know and love.
They're showing you footage of actually what he's filming, and like they're comparing it to the shots
they're
that
like
they
capturing
used.
his moves and stuff. That was really neat to see, and like that was something I wasn't crazy excited about, but then once it was actually on, I actually really quite enjoyed it.
And like one thing that I love hearing was shit like he was even saying, because he's actually like a master, like a jiu-jitsu master in real life. Like he's not
Master Daniel Pesina.
Yeah, Master Daniel Pesina. Sorry, Master. But he not only like is he probably like the happiest guy, I swear to God, was there, ear to ear smile all weekend.
Yeah, he must have literally been. I can only imagine. I didn't get a good chance to speak with Daniel, but he definitely had like a very openly like happy persona. About him.
You could tell he was.
Seemed like a very genuinely happy dude, and he was excellent as far as any time he was on stage for any of the events this weekend.
No, absolutely. But they had him falling on concrete like that when they were doing those motion captures. Like there's no mat. He's just concrete.
Yeah.
So it's like, ow. But then after we finally got to and another panel that I was like, I'm really liking this.
Yeah.
Then we finally got to see it.
Yeah.
Cinemassacre.
That was really cool. And the great thing is we got, and you'll see it during this footage here, that the nerd was literally like a foot from us. We had the best spots because we did sit through those Activision with that Mortal Kombat panel. And it was great. What was kind of neat about this panel, which was unusual, is rather than just talk about his most famous thing, the angry video game nerd, he kind of used the time in the panel to kind of go over films that he had watched in 2019.
Yeah, it was really like this year in movies film review.
Imagine like rental reviews, because you have Justin Silverman and Ryan from Screenwave and Cinemassacre that were sitting beside James, and it was really neat to see him do like a kind of review section of his favorite, I wouldn't say favorite movies, but just movies he's watched in 2019. He talked about Midsummer, Joker,
Endgame,
Avengers Endgame, and Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And by the way, he deeply appreciated the Joker. When it
Yeah.
comes down to
Which
it, which is cool.
In case anyone
if you
was
guys watched our
wondering.
videos, we liked it too.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It felt like a live rental review. But they did talk about some announcements regarding the Nerd. They're doing a video game double release of Angry Video Game
1 and
2, Assimilation.
With a little extra content and tying up.
Yeah,
plus
extra chapter, I think he said.
A third chapter. So yeah, we're actually...
And also this game, this is like brand new news, but they're going to have a physical release for it. So that's cool.
I can't wait.
The crowd was definitely stoked to hear that.
Yeah, I wanted one. So
yeah, and they did mention that there would be a new Nerd at the following day's panel, which we'll get to in a moment. Which was kind of cool because obviously they were determined to kind of do two different things, even though they had two panels in the same.
Anyone who is a Cinemassacre fan, if you're all missing, what's bullshit. It's coming back.
Yep. Yeah. That was another thing they were going to screen the following day. So they kind of broke it. Yeah, exactly. And then those are a little bit shorter. I think that he wanted to kind of get a group of them he mentioned at the panel and then get them all out there. So
they're quick.
Don't worry. Yeah, they'll be out there. James definitely spoke about it. So cool thing about the Cinemassacre panel was split up into 2 different days. One was seeing more focused AVGN. One was more focused on just Film James, which is pretty much the big James that we all know. So moving on from there, you could tell people were starting to get like more of a party mode starting because the after party was slowly creeping up on us. Space Ghost Live was packed.
Oh yes, great show.
We had left the Cinemassacre one maybe for a bathroom break or something. By the time we had gone back, already there was a line pouring out to get into Space Ghost Live, which by the way is a tradition of Freeplay. This was the fifth year at Freeplay doing Space Ghost Live.
I always wonder what happened to Space Ghost, so if you do too, it's live at Freeplay.
Yeah, it was excellent. George Lowe kind of started the show off.
That's the one thing I will warn you, though. I'm not even warning you, but a new man has the mantle of Space Ghost. George Lowe will still
He's affiliated with the actual show's production, it seems like, at least the very beginning of it, and he kind of talks to the audience as they're coming in to fill up the seats. And then he hands it off there as like he's a glorified cosplay of Space Ghost, but he voices him pretty well.
He's got that like card mannerism down. He's you can tell he's doing well. So
but I will say the costume's fucking dope.
Yeah, it ain't no cloth thing like you saw on the TV. This guy is straight out like money went into that. So
cool.
No, but it was great. Now we couldn't unfortunately finish that panel, and you know why?
Yeah, so we did do some work with Keith Apicary, which was a lot of fun. Also, during this time, just before Keith hit the stage with Daniel Pacino for the Streets of Stage show, we interviewed Billy Mitchell and Walter Day. So in that time, we did have that was like our downtime between those panels because they allowed I think an hour to set up for Keith. And by the way, this was. What was so cool about working with Keith over the weekend was he didn't do any appearances as Keith Apicary. He really only showed up for this panel.
He was Keith for about an hour.
He even left in character before the panel ended, and that's kind of when we shot some footage with Keith. And that was what was really cool. Is I think we were lucky. In other words.
No, we really were.
Guess what he was doing? He was getting ready to suit up. Well, before we get into that, I will say let's talk about the Keith panel. He came out completely in character. And basically, it was kind of like a karate instructional stage setup where they do Mortal Kombat moves on this giant screen, and Keith would come up with his own moves on the giant screen that were taken from like Neo Geo games. You picture Keith Love. I think one was Mark of the Wolves.
Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu, that's right.
Kasumi Ninja, if you know that one.
There was some really random,
the
funny ones.
fireball
If you watch Keith's work, you definitely would recognize some of this stuff, and especially see him like being into it. So that was really cool. It was the only time Keith showed up all weekend, but he was excellent as always.
Yeah, it was great.
And then he had the after party. This was a huge highlight. Everyone had to leave the show for I think about a half hour.
No, it was an hour. They closed at 10. They opened up at 11. Even though it was kind of bullshit. Why we couldn't just stay there, I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, and if you guys are there to network, do not skimp. Go to the after party. It's completely affordable. But when you get to go there. You walk in, you have all the lights dimmed.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in kind of like a CD arcade.
Yeah,
from the
like
80s.
arcade, like it's all dingy a little bit.
And you got to imagine this place has hundreds of arcades, so games and arcades. So when you think about it, like you can't picture this site where you have like this Tron thing that's lit up.
Yeah,
in
you
the
noticed like
dark.
the Tron section was
So
blowing
moody.
up. They had some like neon lights going. It felt very like a party. So
And you
great.
walk in, and then in the main hall, just across from where the Nerds booth was, there was a stage set up where Dad feels from the previous night,
Yep.
which you've seen in the footage. Yeah, he was out there. He was doing another show, and I think this time too a little bit drunker of a crowd, including myself and Sean.
Yep.
I was definitely a little saucy. That was the most saucy I got all night.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's good for networking because I got a little saucy because I was talking to Justin Silverman. I was talking to Nathan Barnatt and other people that were at the event. And, you know, what better place to have that kind of social dialogue than when you're having a drink or whatever.
And
so
keep
it
in
was
mind,
really
while
fun.
this is going on, you have like Billy Mitchell off in his section on a Donkey Kong game, live
in the
streaming.
same party, you got a live stream going on with Billy Mitchell going for a high score on Twitch.
on Donkey. So, no, like it was great. Got to watch him like a master at that game work, and you know. And you know, like, and at that point, it's also not like everyone's still at their booths. People are just like James Rolfe's just walking around. Like it's like holy shit. And thankfully, now back to the panel for a half a second with them. I wanted to ask a question so bad because you know, stupid.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't pick me. So I was actually really like disappointed, and I actually thought I had a really good question. So and I caught myself watching the Dad Feels concert, and right to my left is the Angry Video Game Nerd. So and I'm kind of freaking out a little bit inside, but I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I gotta ask. I didn't get to ask at the panel, so I asked him if he had the high budget and could ask and could direct any one of these Universal monster movies, so Dracula, Wolfman, you know, everything like that, Frankenstein, and he could only pick one, what would it be? And the answer blew me away. It was The Invisible Man. And the reason why is because I guess, in the way he explained it, to this day, no one has ever remade that movie from the original. There's plenty of Invisible Man movies. They're not the same movie, which I'm just like, that's a fucking awesome answer.
Yeah.
So I was like super happy. And he
was super approachable for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, good guy.
And he told me it was a great question, and he wished I asked it at the panel. And so I don't know who it was who was screening, but fuck you.
And it was really cool because during the Dad Feels panel, or not panel, I'm sorry, the performance, he actually got the nerd up on stage to dance with him while he was dancing.
Oh, yes.
And the energy was so hyped because now you have the nerd up there with Keith. And yeah, the crowd was so hyper on it. Everyone was having a good time. And like I said, I think everyone was getting kind of 3 shades to the wind by this point of the night.
Everybody had a drink.
Imagine behind us while this is going on, you just got arcades going off in the dark.
Yep.
So yeah, and there was cute girls there.
Oh yeah.
It was a good time.
It was a great
Don't
time.
skimp on the after party. And then as we're walking out of the after party, none other than Nathan Barnatt starts climbing in the lobby. At this point, I'm a little drunk.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
watching this go on, and it's just hilarious, dude. I couldn't
that's
believe
the
that
Nathan
he did that.
Barnatt after party. Like,
Yeah,
he
he gets out of his Dad Feels outfit, takes some photos in the Pitfall photo op, which you'll see here, and after that he proceeds to start climbing to the crowds chanting the front lobby, and he starts doing a little dance. And
don't even know if he was allowed to do that, but he did it anyway, and that's why he's the man.
Absolutely fantastic time. And the great thing about Freeplay, it seems like they're very adamant about keeping it not full of volunteers and staff up your ass. Like, they're very cool in trusting the gaming community. Like, you know, it's just you didn't have staff or volunteers or any of that stuff like up your ass all weekend.
Yeah, you didn't have people like telling you can't go anywhere. Like, it was very...
It was like the main hall was rented out for the gamers, and they just left. They poured you in. Once you were in, no one messed with you. They provided water all weekend.
Besides, we're gamers. What
literally,
damage
like,
really cause?
Anyone would have been happy to capitalize, which I've been to a couple of shows, I won't say which, on the fact that people are thirsty at a show and sell drinks.
Yeah.
Rather, they just have water for free all weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Shit ton of water. Like,
absolutely.
And it was
especially
good
after
water.
Saturday night.
And it wasn't like tap water. It was actually like good water.
Hell
so,
yeah. So, and like I said, after Saturday night, I was a little...
yeah, we were sipping
water. I was
water.
recovering, so yeah, I woke up the next day and
Sunday
water,
we were hitting that water pretty hard.
And then Sunday, when we returned, we had already decided that we were going to try to kind of make it back at a fair enough time. We do have a few hours to drive to get the Freeplay and back.
We are dads too, so.
Yeah, and being a dad, I had to get home to my kid. So most importantly, when we did go back Sunday, we did stop. James Rolfe did one more appearance. I stopped over there. So did Sean. I didn't get my movie, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, signed at the first day. I got other things done, but not that. So I went back and got that signed. Sean picked up the AVGN poster I had mentioned earlier. Got that signed by him and Justin from Cinemassacre. And we had a chance to say goodbye to everybody because throughout the weekend we were constantly in communication with them.
Yep.
Whether it was coordinating an interview, the stuff with Keith, it was just a lot of talking. And most of the time, like I said, it kind of worked out where we just started conversating with them. One thing led to another. We were doing what they were doing, and that's it. You're just like, it's a great opportunity to network.
I wish it was next weekend. I want another one. I want a bag. Freeplay 2020. When is it? Give me the date now.
And the next day, so those that did attend on Sunday, they were able to catch, the nerd went to his booth at 10, they were able to go at 1 p.m. and catch a screening of the new It's Bullshit episode as well as...
Can't spoil what the other one
Well, yeah, we won't talk about it. In fact, I'll get to that in a minute. There was a new Angry Video Game Nerd that wasn't complete in post-production, but they were going to show a rough cut of it. So before we left, knowing that I wasn't going to catch the 1 p.m. panel, I walked up to James and I said, could you spoil for me what the episode was at least, since I won't be able to catch it. So we did get that. We do know the new episode's coming. It's going to be out very shortly. It'll be worth it. Trust me, it'll be totally worth it when you find out what it is, guys.
I was very excited to hear, but we promised we wouldn't say. So
yeah, absolutely, and it shouldn't be out very long, I imagine. It's been a little while since the nerd episode. They were just screening it, so you'll see for yourself.
It won't be much longer.
Will be good.
Yes.
I promise you that. So that's it. That is Freeplay in a nutshell. I cannot say thank you enough to the guys at Freeplay for putting on such a fantastic show, booking the guests that they did, treating their customers, the people that were there as with the wristbands for the weekend, amazingly. Yeah. So thank you guys, and the other people I'd like to thank are Neil Hernandez, for getting me in touch with Billy when we had gotten there for our interview and things like that, and Nathan Barnatt because he's just awesome and he got to work with him on this video. So that wraps it up. Would you recommend going to Freeplay if you're a retro gamer?
Fuck yes. Oh my god. Like I said, I want it back. I want next week. Can we go again?
Absolutely. If you go to an event like this, don't be bashful. Talk, get some stuff done because these people, the gaming community there was very warm to us, very cool. And we'll be back next year.
And now also one other thing we didn't really touch base on, but I just want to make a quick thing. If you like pinball, by God, did they have pinball? You had Batman pinball.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what I was saying about being able to network with those guys that we mentioned. It's just that there were so many people there for pinball. Many of them just weren't even completely aware about who the guests were and so forth.
Yeah, I would talk, I'd be
older crowd.
I can't wait to meet Angry Video Game Nerd. They're like, I don't know who that is, but it's a pinball shirt. So it's straight up, why he's there. But anyway, yeah. So
definitely.
Figure we'll throw that little piece in there. So
I hope you guys enjoyed our coverage and some of the stuff that kind of give you what it's like to be at Freeplay Florida. This is such a cool event, and I can't recommend it enough. I think we'll be back next year, safe to say.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys, and thank everybody that I mentioned before. You guys are awesome. Thanks for helping us out, and thanks for watching.
And don't forget to check out the Billy Mitchell interview this guy did.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Before we go, you can find right here on the website, anytime at www.thevariantnewssource or on our YouTube channel. Billy Mitchell, we interviewed him. The full interview is on the page. You can check that out. And just go to the website in general because that's where all of our content is always. So remember, follow, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching.
See you next time.